Aloha! Today we are visiting with singer, songwriter, producer, and performer Starla Murray regarding her latest video, Grandma, I Love You.
Aloha, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
Starla, thank you for sharing your story with us. How were you first exposed to music?
I was first exposed to music, I think. It's a funny story, actually. It was my mom and dad, they had a band, and my mom played bass in my dad's band up until about she was, I think, 8 months pregnant. So I guess you could say that I was exposed to music even before I got out the womb.
When did you first discover your passion for music?
I honestly don't think there was a time that music wasn't a part of my life. So, yeah, I can't put a date on that. It's definitely from when I was in my diapers.
Were there programs and people available to help you cultivate your passion and creativity?
Thankfully, yes. I was fortunate enough to have been, it goes back from, my family, as I mentioned before, like my mom and dad, like my dad knowing so many instruments, my mom playing the bass, my Uncle Johnny playing, the bongos, and my Auntie Stella playing percussion, my Uncle Stephen playing guitar and ukulele. Also, I was involved elementary school. I had some really wonderful teachers growing up, Mary Elfiller. I was also involved in the church choir under the direction of Rini Thronis. I took private voice under the direction of Shelby Debin, Mandy Thronis Brown. Also, my cousin Glenn Medeiros, I was fortunate enough to take voice lessons from him as well. I think another program that really helped me was it was a children's performing group under the direction of Brenda Beeler. It was called the Showtime Menahunis, and we performed throughout the islands, and we did a lot of events and charity, and it was just something that I've definitely learned and grown from, and it's very fortunate for that.
Who or where did your inspiration or muse come from?
Wow, but definitely my teachers and my family. I would have to say that, the people that I mentioned prior. My cousin Glenn, for sure, definitely has been an amazing mentor in my life. I would have to say, on a whole different level, I don't want to leave anybody out. So, on the acting level, I would say a few mentors that I have to name is Eric Namoto, Scott and Jeannie Rogers, Theo Cumbus. Definitely people that have helped me with my creativity and a whole different level of understanding art. And I would have to say Mary Lardizabal, my high school choir teachers, Mary Lardizabal, Catherine Paleka, Dean Kalin. Oh my goodness. Like, Dean is just like, he's just amazing. Like, he's from Utah, but he's like a very established music voice teacher, and he's given so much insight for people that's on the American Idol or The Voice and all these competitions. I was very fortunate enough to perform with him and learn a lot from him through the years. So thank you, Dean.
What is it about music that allows you to express your creativity and self-expression?
Music allows me to nourish my creativity, and I think with music, it's art, and it allows you to evoke emotion through that art and connect with people. And my whole goal as a songwriter, I think, is for people to relate to my music, or for them to not feel alone, to brighten their day, to make them smile. Music is just, it's something where you can express yourself. Sometimes people have difficulty saying exactly what they mean through words, so music is that.
What dreams or desires did you have about becoming a musician or a singer-songwriter, and even now you've added producer, performer to your list?
Definitely for people to relate and connect to my music, I think is up there. Helping people know that they're not alone. I think that's really important. Knowing I helped someone, and them listening to my song, like, I think one of the best compliments I've had from people is them saying, "Oh my gosh, Starla, like, I was having a really rough day, and when I listened to your song, it totally made a difference." And I think that's what's important.
Starla, what artists or musicians have you had the opportunity to collaborate and co-create with?
I think the top of the list for me is obviously my cousin Glenn. You know that he's just amazing, and I've learned a lot from him. Percy Sanchez, definitely. Coco J. Brown, Kevin McCraven, you know, Danny Cruces, Diane Rubio from Falling Down Romance. These people are just wonderful musicians and just really passionate about what they do. And I think that's really important. And they're just really wonderful, genuine, great people.
And many of the ones you mentioned are far beyond musicians. I mean, they're truly entertainers and performers.
Absolutely.
And that makes a difference.
Absolutely.
What dreams or desires did you have about becoming a musician or singer-songwriter, performer?
I think mainly as a songwriter, you want people to relate and connect to your music. And for me, lyrically, you know, like I really wanted people to feel that they're not alone in a situation and they can connect to that. You know, music, it's very powerful, and I think I'm just blessed to be given that gift, and you know, like I want to use it for a bigger purpose.
Yeah, and share it with the world. What obstacles have you had to overcome along your journey?
Being a perfectionist, you know, like that's definitely a big thing for me. Overcoming perfectionism. It's just one of those things, like, you know, when you're in the studio and, you know, you're doing take after take and you're just like, okay, it can sound better, let's do it again. Or you just keep on going on and on, or we want to add this or subtract this. And it's just, it comes a point where you have to say, I think this is enough, and for the time being, because if not, you're just going to go years and years and years, and it's not complete. So perfectionism is definitely something that I'm still trying to overcome, actually. But, you know, it's another obstacle, I would just have to say, throughout the years I've learned, you know, it's just, I think we all experience it through every aspect, not just in music or any business or just in everything, you know, having people that has your best interests and that's in your corner, that, you know, true friends or people that that's there to motivate you and inspire you. I think it's important to know your circle, and it's important, you know, to have people that want you to achieve your dreams. And if I didn't have that, I honestly don't think that I would be here. You know, and I really don't want to go into full detail of the exact obstacles that I've had to overcome. But, you know, I think when you're in the industry and you really want to just be appreciated for your art and what you present, and you want to be a nice, genuine person, you know, sometimes your people will take advantage of your kindness. So it's just good to have great people in your corner. And, you know, fortunately, I was able to have a wonderful team, you know, my family, you know, my mom being my manager growing up, that definitely helped me a lot, you know. And I think I experienced obstacles when she retired as my manager, you know, and thankfully I was able to reconnect with an amazing person in the industry, Ryan Brown from ADR Agency, that gave me wonderful advice. So I'm very grateful for that. Thank you, Ryan.
Starla, how do you feel that the internet has changed the industry?
Wow, the internet is amazing. I mean, you know, it's something that allows you to connect with people on a whole different level. You know, technology changes so fast, you know, and you know, like every 6 months you get a new iPhone, or we want to keep up with the times. But I think, you know, as far as for artists or anyone, you know, I think it's important to be educated and to be as thorough in your craft as possible, you know, not just the art side, but the business as well. And the internet has allowed, you know, I think we all know, you know, it's like it was vinyl, CDs, and now it's just, you know, digital downloads. So, you know, it's allowed a lot of artists to get their material out there and to reach people, you know, simultaneously. Like they do live streams, you know, there's so much apps, things being invented, you know, Facebook, Instagram.
And that leads to my next question. I mean, look at the role that American Idol or The Voice is playing in helping launch people's careers. And many people might not know that you and your mom, by your side, auditioned for American Idol.
Okay, yeah, that's another funny story. I think I love my mom so much. She's just been so supportive throughout the years, and I think it was just right out of high school. I was maybe 17, 18, and they weren't having auditions in Hawaii, so we had to fly to California, and we're at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, and we had to stay outside the Rose Bowl in the cold for 2 days, and God bless my mom because it was really cold. So we stood out there, and I think the first 1,000 was guaranteed an audition, and luckily I was number 800 something, and fortunately I got past my first audition. I got past my second audition, and I was blessed enough to being able to audition in front of Paula and Simon, and Randy. Actually, he wasn't there. I'm not too sure where he was, but I was able to audition for them, so I was very blessed to have had that opportunity. And in that moment, when I look back, I wasn't able to be actually on the show, but I know looking back now, it wasn't my time. I wasn't ready, and it wasn't my time. And I honestly think that song selection is a very important thing for people that, they enter or audition for these competitions. And I love American Idol, I love The Voice, but I also think that it's important for these kids, that have these dreams, to pursue their passion, and they go into these competition, we want to present the best that we possibly can, and sometimes they're looking for something else, and to just continue to pursue your passion, because it's like, I think there's so much talented people in the world, and a lot of people don't enter these competitions because they're afraid of rejection. And I think the bigger picture, it's not a win or lose situation. I believe that everybody has something special to offer this world, and it's a development process, and to continue to pursue that. If that's something that you really want to do, like, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Continue to do so, and in your time, like, you'll find your calling, and you'll find that light for you.
I think that's a really important message, especially for today's youth. And it's wonderful that they have the internet and many of these programs, but a lot of the arts and education programs have gone away because of funding. And to encourage kids, especially to follow their passions and learn and grow. And I like that on both shows, I've noticed on Idol and on The Voice, they tell them, like, this isn't the end. Just the fact that you are here at all can change your life. So regardless of what happens, go on. And you're an example of that.
Oh, thank you.
Can you share maybe some of your personal defining moments?
Wow. I think one of them in particular was when I heard my first original song on the radio.
I can actually identify with that.
That was amazing. It was just such a wonderful moment for me. When I wrote and produced my own music video, that was one of them. Also, when to be able to give charity, to perform and to be able to be a part of charity throughout the islands, the mainland, and the world, that's something also very dear to me. And also, I was fortunate enough to been able to do an Armed Forces tour for Armed Forces in Asia. And God bless our men and women of the Armed Forces, and for all the sacrifice and everything that they've done. Thank you so much.
You mentioned radio, which is, of course, one of my favorite passions, but in all the support that you've had, in addition, what I think is really wonderful is many of the local networks and stations and hosts have also been huge supporters.
I've been so blessed throughout the years, especially here in my hometown. The support has just been so amazing. I have to give a shout out to Ron Wiley, Kong Radio Group, FM 97. There's so much wonderful people, and like, for me, it's like, I can't even put it into words on how grateful I am that they support me, and they play my music, and they promote me on the air. It's wonderful, and thank you.
What are some do you feel are your personal achievements?
Personal achievements? Being here right now. Oh, well, I think honestly, one personal achievement that's very dear to me is I was fortunate enough to get a proclamation, March 12th, given by our late mayor, Brian Baptiste. March 12th was actually the release date of my album, and he proclaimed that day to be Starla Marie Day. So that was very amazing for me.
So, Starla, one of the main reasons we're here today is to talk about your latest video, which is a tribute to your grandmother. Grandma, I love you. You were extremely close, like I was, to my grandmother, and she was a huge influence in your life. Can you tell us a little bit about your relationship?
My grandma she was like a best friend, and a mentor, and just someone very dear to me. I'm fortunate enough to be close with my mom and my family, but my grandma and I, she was just so easy to talk to without judgment, and just amazing. I'm fortunate enough to have a really close relationship with my family, but I think my grandma in particular, there's a special bond that was very unique and different, and I really miss her.
You spent quite a lot of time with her growing up.
Absolutely. She was my number one babysitter. She's an amazing cook, just very supportive with my music, and it was just one of a kind. I love my grandma.
And she's still with you today?
Absolutely. In song, in spirit, and in my everyday life, I try to live my life to make her proud.
Your grandmother really helped inspire your passion for music. What do you believe was her vision for you in the future?
I think mainly she wanted me to be happy, to also pursue my passion to be successful. And in order to do so, I think to be happy, it was music for me. So.
And even though she came from a very different generation, music kind of helped close that gap for you as well?
Oh, my grandma was hip. She drove a Corvette, a candy apple red Corvette. So she loved the oldies up into the new stuff, so.
Can you tell us something significant that your grandmother did that helped inspire you or help support you?
She actually bought me my first toy keyboard. It was so awesome. I actually still have it, so that was very special.
Does it appear in your video?
Unfortunately, no. It's not in full condition to be in a video, I think. I would have added a little authenticness, but yeah, it was not in the video.
Well, speaking about the video, your latest release, again, Grandma, I Love You, had so many friends and family that came together to help support you in that venture as well.
I can't extend the gratitude for the people that helped me with this video. This song in particular is so special and dear to me, and I wrote it. It's probably the fastest song that I've ever written. I wrote it in a day. We had it finalized the next day, 2 days, with full instrumentation, harmony, everything. And the video itself, it took a lot of creative effort, and I'm just very grateful for, I have to say, Larry Cortez, Wes Cortez, Eric Nemoto, Therese Jasper, my auntie Betty Nakamoto, Chantel Raposo, my mom, my dad. It's just we came together, and we wanted it to be really authentic to my grandma's memory. And in the video, I wanted to capture real, true life memories in that video that captured that special relationship with my grandma. And I was fortunate enough to have my auntie Shirley Silva Marks portray my grandma in that video, and my niece Jayla Miyashiro portray a younger version of me. So it was really amazing. And we did 3 locations, and I think that's the fastest project that I probably did. It was faster because we did it in less than 24 hours. I don't even know, but we did it really fast, and these guys are just amazing. I'm looking forward to the next videos.
If your grandmother was here today, what advice do you feel that she would give you?
To continue to share my gift, to help others in need if I have the ability to do so, and to try my best to make a positive impact and difference in the world.
What continues to fuel and drive your passions?
Music is just, it's a part of me, and I honestly can't imagine my life without music, and I hope to make a difference one way or the other with my music.
What advice would you leave our audience with today?
To never give up on your dreams and to continue to pursue your passions.
And I know there's one very favorite quote you have from your grandmother. In fact, your mom even has it on her business card.
Okay, well, in the words, quote unquote, they always used to say this to me, my mom and my grandmother. A smile is the emotional sunshine you give another. What you receive in return may change your life.
Thank you, Starla.
Thank you, Michelle.